I do think it's bullshit when women complain about their men looking for alternative resources for their sexual needs when they're not giving them.
That's where my yep. That's where
I think that is some bullshit. Now, I don't believe in infidelity. If a woman's not going to turn up and she's not going to come to the table to be a participant in a healthy relationship, which means you give to the other person what they need.
Whispers of a name, but the proof ain't dire. Bottle of whiskey and a match. Who started this fire?
And I want to know, what the fuck is this about? I really, truly want to know, right?
Wait, those are dudes wearing dresses.
These dudes started this fire.
Those are chocolatey dudes. Those are on your team, Stone. Why are they doing
They're
that?
not on. What do you mean they're on my team? You've never seen me in a red jersey, my guy. Like, that's crazy.
So what is this about?
Those are mostly dudes too.
There's thousands of them.
It started in 1987 by a restaurant. What was it for though? Why did they start it?
I think it's like a charity run.
A charity run.
But the rules specifically say, when I was looking at an article, that you only have to wear red. That doesn't say anything about having to wear a dress.
Bro, that guy's got cheeks hanging out.
So it's morphed into the red dress run.
Look at the way somebody's looking at this video.
All I'm going to say is I don't see any white people there, bro. You're the one that says black guys don't like gay shit, but all I'm seeing is people of color.
Game of
There's no defense, my guy. There's no defense for this nonsense. I have nothing to say, bro.
Yeah, there's like thousands of people there.
Yeah.
So
what's the go ahead?
Yeah, my question is: are those guys? Are they all gay? Is this kind of like a drag thing, or are that just regular dudes that woke up and said, "I want to go get a red dress"? Or did they already have the dress hanging in their closet?
Yeah. What's the charity thing for?
I have no idea.
Understand that.
I mean, I wasn't there, so I don't know.
Are you sure?
I'm not. Yeah, I was probably hanging out with.
It's kind of hard to tell.
I literally don't know. I just saw it, and I was completely baffled by it. I don't understand it.
Dude, why is our culture trying to get dudes in dresses so bad?
I don't know. Why are they also trying to get a gay man in every child's life?
R.I.P. Obama, man. That shit was wild, dude.
Yeah. Obama and Michael, man.
Well, why do all these dudes...
Sick, twisted thing that they are trying to do it.
And to say, why are they trying to get men in dresses, but why are men willing to wear dresses? Why are they down?
Because they don't have a dad.
Or is it supposed to be just funny? Or are these guys trying to just be funny?
I would assume some.
It's kind of funny.
I would say that there's probably some guys are just doing it to be funny.
Yes.
But there is so many dudes there that it's not.
Like, I mean, come on, look at this guy.
This one definitely is there for different reasons than being funny.
He's got cleavage hanging out, man.
What the?
I wonder if this is proof that men will literally. I wonder if this is proof if men will literally do anything aside from go to therapy.
They will do cardio before going to therapy. Those guys were all in shape too. That's crazy.
Well, yeah.
You know what? Have any of you guys ever worn a dress?
Never.
Anybody?
I've worn some robes, but
I did. I was a granny for Halloween one year at the Ninefold office.
I think I remember that.
Dress for comedy purposes.
Of course.
Yeah.
It didn't have cleavage. It was a granny dress, but it was hilarious. We all had a great time that day. But I don't. What do we know? What the fundraiser's for? Like, what's the charity? Do we have any background on this?
Started in '87, and that's it. That's all I know. And at the point that I saw all the dudes in the red dresses, I lost interest.
We got something on this.
I think that like people are so like lighthearted about we're doing this, and then we see like the headlines pop up with pedophile shit, and everybody's just like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, speaking of pedo stuff, dude.
Do you think that stuff ties in?
Oh, of course. I mean, they've changed the culture
100%.
completely at the core.
Well,
pedos can hide a lot easier when these lines are blurred. and people don't even know.
Well,
what they're
haven't they
doing.
even rolled that in? Isn't pedophilia part of the LGBT?
Yeah, it's like they have like a
part of the
color on
whole-
the flag or
They've
something.
rolled that in there as
What
well.
are they? The plus?
What do
They're
they
part of
call?
the
What do they
plus
call
part?
that shit? No, they call
They
like,
call it minor attracted person.
minor attracted persons.
And
That's
they're
how
a
they-
part of the LGBT.
I think
Yep.
it's all baked into this whole ongoing
My
alphabet
God.
group that like
So,
keeps that.
I know a bunch of people that support that definitely don't support the pedo thing.
Well, so it started with
How did that get?
because
walked
here's
in
what
there?
they've done. It's all been strategic, right? They get everybody wanting to stand up for gay people
Mm-hmm.
because most people know people that are gay. We all know somebody gay AI, gay,
Yeah,
gay.
he's more of an algorithm than an actual person, but
True. But they got everybody sympathetic to that, which most people were. And then because they could get people on that bandwagon, now they're trying to add all this other bullshit. So it's like if you're supportive of your gay nephew, now you have to be supportive of trans. You got to be supportive of
these minor attracted
people, whatever it is. It's all baked into one thing so that they can
Bi,
manipulate everybody to get behind this thing. And to me, this is all like a concerted attack on the traditional family, and now it's an attack on gender, designed to make us as a population super weak so that the people in power, because this is all orchestrated, this isn't some sort of like organic expression of human evolution. That's not what's going on here. This is all very concerted and manipulative to keep the population weak and to keep the population divided, fighting about this kind of bullshit, why the people in power pull the levers and just get rich and why we get poor. That's what's going on. Keep the livestock
Yeah.
weak.
Interesting. I mean, I do kind of feel like it is a concerted effort. There is like a direction. There's people pulling strings, but one interesting thing that I learned, I must have watched it in a podcast or something, but like towards the end of the Roman Empire, there was a lot more gay people, or there's like writings or things about gays, like there being more gay people coming out. And this researcher or some kind of historian dude was just saying that like that's a sign of the end of a falling civilization, is when you start to see these kind of gender lines being blurred. So I wonder if it's just like people don't have enough problems in their life. Life has gotten too good to where this is just all more acceptable, and maybe it's just kind of the direction it's going. Or like the other side of me is like thinking there's a deeper, more sinister thing where someone is directing this LGBT,
Well,
this whole like
I think-
wave of new thinking.
Hold on, like you know, I think gay people get a bad rap when it comes to this shit. People have been gay forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. When it comes to all this other shit, like I wouldn't lump gay people in with what did you say? Fucking
Minor
pedophiles?
attracted.
like what are we talking about? Like how does
And the gays
gay,
hate
like,
that, by
exactly,
the way.
Like
I've talked to a couple gay people. They hate that they've lopped everybody else in with
exactly,
that. Yeah.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like I don't know.
And guys, if you are liking this content, please hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps us to keep the content coming and to build up this show in a way we're not exactly sure all the different angles it has, but we need your guys' support to be part of it here at The Fire. So please like, subscribe, and feel free to comment.
Everybody's default. It's immediately gay. It's not LBGQ, but LBGTQ plus, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
It's true.
Everyone
That's a
just-
mouthful.
It's always gay though.
Yeah, pause.
100%. Everything is just, oh, yeah, if you're gay, this, that, and the other. But it's like, hold on, like, damn, dog. I'm not telling you to do anything.
Yeah.
I didn't condone this shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not condoning any of these things that are going on.
Which
right?
is crazy. They've been able to sneak that in. I didn't even know that minor attracted
I mean,
people were a part of that.
Right. Lesbian women. Why the fuck do they got, like, hold on, like, I like girls, not kids.
Right. Yeah, that's weird.
I think
It's very sinister.
The fact that they have the privilege to worry about this kind of shit is telling, because I mean the rest of us out here, we just trying to eat, you know, like I'm just trying to make my bread and take it home. These people are just tooth and nail on this shit all day, and it's like you got so much time on your hands that you're gonna argue against biology. It's ridiculous.
That's what I was thinking. It's like end of times. Like life has gotten too good. You know, people can just get food literally delivered to your house. You know, we're one service short of people actually like feeding you. You know, like life is real easy. There's people that just work on computers all day. They don't even have to move. You know, 20 years ago, you had to move your body to make a living. At least filling out paperwork, you know, it wasn't digital. So I wonder if it's like
Filling out.
the end of times. It's just like life's gotten too easy. So now we're like thinking of shit to have a problem with. Or what is the next thing we can fix? Or the patriarchy's bad. We need to destroy that. Like, is it the people doing this because it's the end of times? Or is there like a dude in the sky with his puppet, moving these pieces?
It's that, bro. For sure.
I lean more towards that way, but part of me also is just like,
it's people pushing this.
how do
agenda.
people just go along with this?
I can buy
It's like a little element of that too.
I can buy into the people pushing an agenda, but then so many people are just sheep, and then they fall in line, and then they believe everything, or they just want to roll with it, and that's where like I get lost. I'm like, why are you buying into this shit?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, again, when we talk about like whether it be Pride Month, why do you need to have a month? Because why do we need to celebrate you for who you sleep with? I don't understand it, right? I don't care what you do in your bedroom. So should we have heterosexual month because we're proud that we sleep with
the opposite gender?
Like, should I be proud of that? It just is what it is. Like, what you do is what you do.
And is it a coincidence they did Pride Month on the month that's Men's Mental Health Month? The same month they like hijacked it.
Those bastards.
Which is ironic because
Or that they hijacked the rainbow.
I didn't even know
they
was a
always are
mental health.
spouting off. They're always spouting off these statistics about like, oh man, how many trans people or gay people are killing themselves and stuff like that. And it's like, man, bitch, how many men are out here just like ending it all every single day? And it's a lot. There's not a doubt in my mind that it
Bro,
was orchestrated.
last week, so we jammed on last week about the abuse of men in relationships, and then we posted up a reel this last night. The amount of comments of dudes in there that are talking about how they've experienced the exact same thing, where they just got the shit kicked out of them by their wives and just had to deal with it because if you go through a divorce, she takes half your shit, she takes custody with the kids, you're a fucking wreck afterwards. And so these guys are just like, I don't know what to do because the system's stacked against me. There's no accountability for her behavior. She can take everything that I've worked my life for away.
Yeah.
So
There's
she
no
can hit me.
recourse for him to get any of that back.
The solution is you call the cops, bro, and you press charges if that happens because that will give you a lot of leverage in a divorce when you separate. You got to be smart about it. You don't hit back. You don't do shit. Just call the cops, file a report. She's hitting me. But just how many guys are going through that? So when we're talking about men's mental health, dude, guys are getting fucked over every which way right now, dude. Everything's against dudes. So these guys are trying to keep the ship afloat. They're trying to provide, got to keep a roof over the head of their family and kids. Meanwhile, they're getting freaking the shit kicked out of them every time they come home. Then they go out their front door into a job they don't want to do. Most men hate what they do. 85% of Americans men hate the jobs that they have. So they're going to work, working their asses off, and now they're getting shortchanged because their dollar doesn't go as far as it used to.
Right.
They can't buy as much gas. They can't buy the eggs. They can't buy all this stuff. So their
won't release
savings
the
are
Epstein
depreciating
list.
with.
So look,
Fuck.
so Buck, why would you get married?
There's
What?
not a lot of good reasons to.
Right? And would
Hanging
you
out
tell,
with you guys sometimes makes me feel like I should probably never get married.
like,
We're both happily
I'm
married.
good.
I know.
I'm good. But
The struggle to
would
get
you
there
tell
seems
why would you
scary
get
sometimes.
married? And then would you, with the way things are going, would you tell your boys to get married?
Would I?
Like-
For sure. I'll tell you why marriage is important. The marriage is important for kids. That's why it's important. If you're not going to have kids, don't get married. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you take the state and include the state in your relationship, right? Like, why would you say we need the government to be involved in our relationship? Because that's what you do when you get married.
So why not just live together and not get married and have kids?
Because I think there's an important element of commitment in marriage where it is important for people to work through their shit. Now, sometimes you can't. I came from a marriage that couldn't happen. Unless I stayed in there and I was just abused, couldn't happen. There's some reasons to get divorced. Abuse, I believe, is one of them. Mm-hmm. But what I would tell my boys now, for sure, I'd even tell my daughters this, get a prenup. Get married, but get a prenup. Make a commitment. I believe in commitment. I believe in
Can't
fidelity.
you just do a commitment like verbally with
can.
you two without
Yeah,
involving
there's
the
laws
state?
where if you've been living together for a while, it basically makes you married in the eyes of the state.
Constitutional marriage.
Yep, exactly. There you go. Thank you for coming in clutch, big dog. Yeah, so you got certain you got to be aware of what the state laws are because you can get considered married without technically getting married. Now I'm married. I performed a marriage for one of my really Rico on the beach in Costa Rica. We flew out there years ago. I was just starting to date Kylie. Performed the marriage, but there was no state involved in it. It was like a spiritual, symbolic marriage.
Right,
A
right.
celebration.
Yeah. So they did the vows.
So
I
if your
did
kids
the
wanted to do that,
officiating.
if your kids wanted to do that, would you be okay with it versus like having to do the whole legal thing? You know?
I don't think they should do any. I don't think anybody should conclude the state. Period.
Okay.
I think every marriage, while you both like each other, while you both still like each other,
Right.
you should come to terms in case it doesn't work out, because you have a 50-50 odds right now in America that it's not going to work out. So you have it's kind of stacked against you. So decide what a separation looks, and it can be anything. I had a lady reach out to me. I did some content on this, a podcast where I was talking about getting a prenup. And she actually, one of the comments was, she's like, I insist as a female, because most of the females are all up in arms about this. Nah, we're entitled to half our man's shit. He's our retirement plan. I can leave his ass and take his shit. Like, that's how most women are just
Right.
wired to think in our society.
Yelling that out loud.
Yeah, and it was in the comments, but she didn't. She's like, I insist on a prenup. And one of the things she had in the prenup was with her husband, they made this arrangement together, is if somebody was cheating on the other person, they gave up rights to the assets. So it was like, hey, you can come up with whatever terms you want, like whatever works for you guys, whatever commitment level you want to have, and say, here's the quality of behavior we both have to bring to the table for this to work right. And if one of us isn't doing that, then they're in breach of our contract. You make the terms. If you don't have a prenup, the state's going to hand you one. It's called a divorce decree, and it's going to fuck you over.
Interesting.
Talking
That's
about
the trick. Then
talking
it's
about
enforceable with law, if it comes down to it.
Yeah, then the state can't get involved because you already have a pre-existing contract to that relationship. So the state can't come in now and start dictating the terms.
Well, maybe that's what I'll do then if I ever get married.
For sure, do it. You should, because
But I have those thoughts where I'm like, there's a lot of reasons not to do this.
well, that's
Like,
why people
everything's
aren't getting
stacked
married anymore.
against me. You know, they can just take half your shit.
Dudes can just look at porn,
Oh.
or it's hookup culture. They can just go out and get laid. That's why I'm saying marriage is about kids, and I'm a big proponent of having kids, raising them well. You know, I think that's a huge contribution to society. Speaking of, like, you know, the Roman fall, the empire of Rome falling, and you said because of homosexuality. I don't even think it's because of the morality of homosexuality. I think it's when you don't replace your population anymore, which gay people aren't replacing the population.
Right.
If you're not replacing your population, it's going to collapse, and you're going to get replaced by another population. We're seeing that right now in real time, all over the world. Like, I was just watching these statistics on England. They're predicting by like 2063, if we even exist as a world anymore, but if 2063, that the British native population will be the minority, and 25% of that population will be Muslim. It'll be a complete takeover.
well, that's
crazy.
it.
Well, by the way, I wasn't
see
saying that
Israel is
Rome-
going to just take over Gaza like today completely and just displace
saw
them
that.
all. So like they could just all move someplace. Like that could happen like right now.
That's crazy.
Like they have nowhere to go.
Most men are starving and they don't even know it. You're not broken. You're underfed. No challenge. No brotherhood. No fire. That pit in your stomach, that's purpose calling, and you've been ignoring it. Click the link. Take the Doughboy assessment.
And to defend myself there, I wasn't saying that Rome fell because of the gays. I was just saying it was a symptom.
That's how it felt.
Yeah.
And on
It's a
behalf of
symptom.
gay AI, I was offended.
Yeah, okay.
Hey,
hash that
talking
out later
about
in the
men
algorithm.
getting effed real quick. We gotta hit on that Utah senator, bro.
Oh, this
yeah,
shit's
Yeah,
it's
wild, bro.
with his granddaughter in this statutory rape case. I didn't realize until Duck sent me over the link to this that it was about a girl raping a kid, a 13-year-old boy, and she was what, 18, 19,
And he was 13.
and he was 13, and she sodomized him. Yeah, she fucked him in the ass, literally.
You know what that means, bro.
What?
Thanks for the detail.
Had to
So
add
she
that.
had some equipment on. I don't want to go into too many details, man, but like, okay.
Had
so,
to have.
So
Had
a
to.
chick,
Some
an
equipment.
18-year-old chick gets with a 13-year-old boy, and now the Utah senator here, Stewart is his last name, right?
Adams.
Stuart Adams. Stewart's his first name. Stuart Adams is trying to get the laws changed now so that he can.
Nope. So the law's already been changed. So his granddaughter was arrested in December of 2023. He proposed. It's really Representative Colmore from Draper who made the actual changes. It was quietly introduced in a criminal reform bill. No one really said anything about it because no one really cared. It passed at the beginning of the 2024 legislative session, And then just this past year, literally a year ago, in August of 2024, his granddaughter was sentenced. And now they just came to a plea deal with the prosecution for his granddaughter. And it's a major plea deal where she was facing life in prison and is now seeing like 5 years and a fine, 5 years of probation and a fine and like credit for time served. And
This is why I hate
That is
politicians.
brutal.
it gets worse because
what is the
you know who
actual change,
primary,
though?
writer
Changes-
of the bill was?
What?
Who is the writer of the bill?
Her defense attorney.
Oh my god.
And her defense attorney goes off
Corruption.
in interviews and she's talking about, oh, this isn't corruption. This isn't me changing the law. This is just a reform that everybody wants to see. And then, you know, I do it again.
So what exactly does it reform? It means that someone that's 18,
So
like
the-
what?
the
Now it's like a
actual
new
reform-
cutoff age, or I don't
So if
understand
that's
that.
the position of this, sorry, I'm.
No,
just
go
a
ahead.
sec. If that's the position of this defense attorney, that this is principally based, which it sounds like that's what he's claiming, is that this.
Stuart Adams
it's
isn't
not,
claiming anything.
It's the defense attorney.
It's the
That's what I'm
defense
saying.
attorney.
woman.
The defense attorney was a woman. Oh, this is her right
Yeah.
here. So she's saying I would have done this either way because this is principle
Mm-hmm.
or whatever.
I'm not corrupt.
Why hasn't she fucking done it already then?
That's the question.
Exactly. It's bullshit. Absolute horseshit, dude.
If you actually look into the story, it's even crazier because Stuart Adams basically had nothing to do with the bill. It's important to know that he is the president of the Utah Senate, so he is the top Republican politician in the state right now, outside of Governor Cox. But if you look at like how the bill was passed, who did all the stuff for it, who was going around getting votes for it, it was Representative Colmore from Draper, who is his right-hand guy, Stuart Adams' right-hand man. And it honestly, if you look at everything, it looks like Representative Colmore is making a play for Stuart Adams' position. Because Stuart Adams basically did nothing. He did no promotion. He didn't call people about voting for his bill. He had nothing to do with the writing process on it. Like,
And now
yeah,
people are calling for
just
his
his
resignation.
and now,
granddaughter.
now state Democrats are calling for Stuart Adams to resign when he had almost nothing to do with it.
But it
Other
is
than he
his
was related to
granddaughter.
her.
Yeah.
It was his granddaughter that was the sort of the
Who
So you're
sodomized the
telling me
young
he
man.
didn't have nothing to
Correct.
do with it.
the
Allegedly.
On the
The
rapist
surface,
of
of course not.
Allegedly. Suspicious.
He
It
didn't want to
stinks a
touch
little
it,
bit.
but in the background, I guarantee it.
Because listen, if you don't have powerful friends, how are you going to get that shit through?
That's exactly the point. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that it all stinks.
Now, what is the actual reform? They're like trying to change the age,
No, so the reform,
or they're
really
just
doesn't
saying that the
do-
punishment can't be as strict.
No, so the reform didn't really do functionally very much. It just extended. So if you're 17 and you were enrolled in high school, it was at prosecutor's discretion for whether or not you would be charged as an adult in certain criminal cases. The change to the law extended that to 18-year-olds that were still enrolled in high school. So functionally, it's not a huge change, but, you know,
It's totally benefiting this situation.
absolutely. Now, the important part is part of the bill was that it was specifically written so that it wasn't retroactive. So it shouldn't have applied in this case. But if you look at the court documents, the prosecutor cited the change in law as one of the major reasons they accepted a plea deal. A plea deal that could only have been bartered because the defense attorney was the primary author of the law change.
Oh,
She was
my
the major.
God.
She
So
wrote
this
the major
stinks.
language that allowed it to change.
Dude, it's so gross. This makes me think of recent too. You have that judge up in Tremont. My wife's from Tremont.
Oh yeah.
The judge up in Tremont, the fire chief gets caught with pedophilia shit, child porn and stuff like that. Gets brought before the judge. The judge, Christensen, gives him bail so he can get out. Gives him leniency.
Which
Well,
he wasn't supposed to get bail.
they were recommending no bail for this guy,
Right,
Because
which
it
it
was
should be.
egregious enough. The crimes, whatever
Yeah.
they had on him, was egregious enough that they were saying he shouldn't get bail. Turns out, the judge Christensen, who is incidentally a Mormon, as I understand it, and was getting ready to go on a Mormon mission with his wife, he's in on it. He's in on all this pedophilia shit. and they've got him dead to rights. They got him with text messages to the fire chief. They were in cahoots together. Two very prominent, powerful people in the community. I think the fire chief was from Brigham City, Tremont.
Which were right
Both
next to each other.
Both freaking dealing in child porn and pedophilia shit. And if I understand correctly, now I'm saying this, I don't know if this is factually true. I heard this when the first case first came out. I was reading stuff on it because this was last year. They were talking about having sex with babies. They wanted to have sex with babies, and that they wanted to have sex. They wanted to groom their grandkids for their little
You gotta be
shit.
their
So
own kin.
imagine you find out your dad is having a conversation with his buddy about grooming your kids.
Oh my God.
What the fuck happens? What do you do, man, at that point? That's not going to get us banned off of YouTube for our little fireside right now.
Dude.
Release one from the chamber, bro.
Oh man, that
That's
came
an
out of
easy choice from Stone.
I'm good. So like this scenario doesn't
I couldn't
apply.
Imagine it would wreck my world to find out my dad was doing shit like that to my own kin, my own kids.
That's
It's
killer.
just twisted
Yeah,
to the highest degree.
he would have to be terminated.
So this is the whole
You would be
problem, right?
terminated.
He would be
Look,
terminated.
the people in power are doing this shit. Not all of them, but a lot of people in power are caught up in this kind of shit. Obviously, we got Epstein Island. That's this whole thing going on right now, where there was all these crimes committed enough to put Epstein in prison and Ghislaine Maxwell.
That's how I
put her
remember
in
it.
prison. But there's nobody doing anything now apparently because there's no flight list and there's no evidence. Even though there's tens of thousands of hours of evidence of this, there no longer is. So you have this whole messaging coming from the top that if you're in power, you can get away with it, and it's going right along with this whole Utah senator bullshit. It's like we are not protecting children in our society anymore. So not only is our birth rates going down, not only is the traditional family completely being eroded right before our eyes, but then you have an entire society that is predatory on children. You don't want a kid? You can get 99% of abortions are committed out of convenience. They always, what about the rape? What about the incest? It's convenience. Over 99% of them are out of convenience. It's like, this is just inconvenient for me. So let's kill a kid.
So do you think?
Crazy.
So do you guys believe that this is new though? Victimizing children.
Oh, it's definitely not.
It's not new.
I think it's been
right?
happening
And I think
centuries.
There's just everybody has a phone. Everybody can document things. So it's just more information out there now. It's not,
No, I think it goes.
Which is
deeper than that,
crazy.
though.
It's even crazier that it's happening more now with all of that.
But do you think
Access to internet, getting this information out, it makes more sense in a
we have more
time.
information? I don't think.
I'm gonna push back on that though. I think it's always been going on.
Yeah,
Kids are weak, right? That's always been going on.
Yeah.
The problem now is that it's getting institutionalized. That's the issue. Is it's getting baked into our society. It's always gone on, but it was bad. It was always like that shit's bad. Everybody knew that somebody messing with kids should be fucked up. Everybody understood that. It was happening. We all understood that as a society. We had the standard. And that standard is being eroded. That's the issue, is it's getting institutionalized. It's
Right.
getting baked into the
Wouldn't you
power.
argue that it's been institutionalized?
No, but we didn't accept it.
Well, it's
So
just
even
crazy to me that we have all this leak age that we're in.
But when you
and
say
we can't get anything out
you
on these
say-
people. I mean, shout out to the attorneys that sniffed out this judge.
when you say
need
we
more
don't
people
we
like
didn't
that.
we didn't accept it. How do you know? Because once again, we didn't have the information. Nowadays, there's just so much information for us to know things, where before we didn't have access to information that we do now. So you don't think that you've already said it. The powers that be, yes, they've been doing, like, people been doing wacky shit with children forever, right? Now, again, we just have access to the information, right? I don't think, do you really believe that it's just more accepted nowadays?
Yeah. It used to be.
I'm
you
talking
string
about from
those
the
things up.
from the top though. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's always been accepted. I think you see what I'm saying. Like, nowadays it's just now the information is getting out, but is it really accepted more? It's just that we know about it more.
I think-
and I'm just talking about the big boys.
I think it absolutely is. I think you could see this with sentences, man. We used to have a lot more severe sentences with anybody who fucked with kids. We don't anymore. You get these guys that are molesting kids, and they get like 6 months of probation because they get some liberal judge who's like, yeah, man, I'm probably doing the same damn thing, and I feel you, brother, so let's just give you 6 months of probation. You molested a kid.
And that's what I'm
As a society, our morality has dropped, is what I'm saying.
I agree
So
with
yes,
that.
there's
100%.
always been crime. There's always
what I mean?
been
Like-
sins. There's always been immorality. It's powerful people have always done shenanigans, always. But it is now like being accepted and it's being like promoted in a lot of ways. And it's like it's different now.
So do you think it's just more? Because I don't know, obviously, but I think that when you talk about the people at the top of the food chain, I kind of want to believe that it's always been relatively the same. Again, information gets out, and I think to your point, it's starting to become normalized because now they see where before I think that they could get away with it because it wasn't out there, so they can just brush it under the rug.
Right.
Where now the information is getting out there, but now people are getting to see that, hold on, like you do this and you're only getting this amount of time, like this, like with this case out here. You know what I'm saying? Like how the guy just is getting off and trying to like, from life to fucking 5 years, like what are we talking about? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? For rape, like what are we talking about? That's crazy. So then it's now just becoming more normalized, so people just accept it for what it is, and then that kind of breaks down the morality of society, you think?
I got a different take on it. I think that
I'm
like
just asking the question. Like, I really, go ahead.
I think that, well, I agree with what you're saying, but I also think like technology has a big to do with things and how much information we're receiving. But I think like pornography is such like a big thing that people have access to their fetishes and the things that they really get into, and they can just watch and watch and watch and consume until they're like, oh man, this is boring. What's next? What's next? And now we have all these, child porn rings and stuff, which is obviously illegal, but regular porn is. And so, there's pathways to get into find, all your
I don't
freaky
agree with
shit,
that,
man.
bro. I don't agree with that.
Dude, I do.
I don't-
100%.
You, of course,
You're
said
basically
it, so
just
of course
saying
you're gonna
it's
agree with
more
what you said.
accessible so that we're getting more
I think
more of these weirdos out there.
I don't think if you're a chubby chaser and you just want to watch a bunch of BBW porn, that's a pathway to pedophilia, right? You can like I think those dudes who are cut from that cloth, that shit is in them.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that is in them. I don't think you have dudes who have some fetish, whatever it is that they're into. Then that just because they watch a shit ton of porn, now I'm bored with that. That's a fetish that you love this shit.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden that's a pathway to kids.
No, I
It's
think
not a
you're right.
gateway-
It's
not a
always
gateway like
in
a
them.
drug.
Dude, no,
But
there's
the more
literally-
porn they
literally
watch for that
studies.
guy that has that little bit of pedophilia in him, it'll accentuate it, and they get bored, and then they got to do the next thing. But I think you're right. You don't just watch a bunch of porn and then end up being a pedophile.
Well, I'm going to back up Stone a little bit, or Fenster on this a little bit more. Ted Bundy was the one who came out and said porn led to his whole thing that he did.
But he had it in him from the
He had
get go.
it in him. He was a fucking psycho.
But okay, but every one of us has darkness inside of us. We have a.
You're not a pedophile though, bro.
I'm not saying I am, but I'm just posing this. I'm not a pedophile, right?
Whoa, there.
Oh, here I got a joke for you guys. You ready for this one? What did the pedophile say to the kid when they were walking through the woods?
Why are you looking like that?
When the kid says, "Oh no, sorry, I've killed this joke." Okay, kid says to the pedophile walking in the woods alone, "I'm scared," and the pedo's like, "You're scared. I'm the one that has to walk home alone in the dark tonight."
That's fucked up.
Oh, that's so fucked up.
That's twisted.
That is so fucked.
That's dark.
What's the best thing about 23-year-olds?
Bro, can we stop with your bad
You
joke?
get 20 of them.
Oh, fuck.
Sorry, bro. Dark humor. No, super gross. Where was I going? No, I'm going to back up Sam on this. I think there is you have good inside you. You have good energy inside you. You have bad energy. You could call it the wolf. You could call it the sheepdog. Whatever you want to use as a metaphor for that.
Right.
Whatever you start feeding is going to grow, and you don't know where it's going to grow to.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. So the more that we deteriorate morality, the more that we invest in things that are corrosive influences on our forces, we don't know what that's going to do to us. None of us knows.
True.
I could have like
I'm not saying,
But
you
I think
personally,
that
it may
still
not-
makes
it
your
may not get
statement
you.
true.
It may not get you. You may
that
not
it's
have
in
that.
you,
don't
but
think it
if you
gets
got to
up-
feed the fucking wolf to be able to
but I
have
think
that manifest.
Dudes who you have one woman, then you want two, then you want three, you want four, then at a point you may have a harem, right? Does not lead to pedophilia though, right? I'm not rocking with that. I believe that if that shit's in you and you do that shit, it's in you. And then, like you said, it's a seed that gets watered at some point in time.
Yeah.
But I don't
think-
think that dudes are into something that's completely over here, and then all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, over the course of time, you watch a bunch of porn. It's like, oh, I like kids too. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I'm not rocking
I think
with
both those statements are true because if it's in you and then you feed it the porn,
You may not even know.
then
it's
you're
you, right?
feeding the wolf. Yeah, and you may not even know. So maybe that's why,
Yeah,
porn in general is just probably
and I
just
think-
bad for you. You probably shouldn't watch it, but I think both those statements can be true at the same time.
I don't know. I
Because
think
I agree with you. Like, it's got to be in you. You're not watching, the BBL or whatever, like big tit porn, and then end up wanting to,
bang out some kids.
Yeah.
Stop it, bro. I'm not
But
rocking
the dudes that have that in them, they're watching this little bit of
I
porn,
think they're
this,
watching
and then
all
it grows
kind of
into
shit.
that.
And I think they're watching all kind of shit.
I agree with that.
Dudes who have certain fetishes, they watch their fetishes. They're
Yeah.
into whatever they're into, right? And I think the guys who
So where does
are
that? Where do you think that comes from? You
have
think
no
they
idea.
just come down packaged with this
bro, like,
coding that's like, hey, it's
ask
already
somebody-
there versus somebody has no
who's
coding?
ask somebody who's gay. Why are you gay? They don't know. Do you think like I don't know? It's just in you. Whatever it is that you like, that's in you, and you don't know why you like it. If you like tall chicks, and it's just like I love tall chicks. I do not want a chick that's 5'1".
Yeah,
Why?
I don't think
She's
it's like
beautiful. She's
coded
successful.
in their DNA, but it probably
But
has a
why?
little bit to do with the upbringing. Like a lot of these pedophiles have been raped themselves.
Possibly. I'm not going to disagree with any of that, and right, and or the reasonings behind, like some of the potential reasonings behind why people do what they do, whatever.
Right.
But I believe firmly when it comes to certain things, people are born with certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like it's in you, and then like you said, there's certain seeds that get watered, and then
Boom.
they just
Yeah.
explode. But I'm not a believer. Like I don't believe that rap music is the reason that motherfuckers out here killing each other. I don't believe it's movies. I don't believe. I think does it have an influence on some people? Yes. So let's not be like, oh, such and such said. That's what you guys always. Oh, such and such said. Such as Ted Bundy said. I don't give a fuck what Ted Bundy. What about the others? 35 billion serial killers.
Because the point we're saying, the point we're making is that the point I'm making.
Don't try to lower your voice and try to bring it calm. Don't try to be like you're the sensible one here. Let's bring this down.
Let's bring it down a
Whoa,
notch.
whoa, whoa! There,
starting to
Stone.
realize-
Let's
Bring it down.
Nope.
Goose frog.
The point is that you can see statistically as we start to elevate certain ideas in society. For example, you can see this statistically with trans. Trans is blowing up. More and more people are trans. Why? Because it's this huge thing that gets attention. So you get these kids that don't know any better. It really starts with the kids. They don't know any better. And now you got all these kids like, I get attention if I'm doing this, or my parents are all like wanting me to transition because it gives them some sort of credibility in their goofy ass liberal circles of friends or whatever.
Right.
Like so you see this spike. You do see society follow morality. What society holds as a moral standard, it is pertinent to the statistics of how much of that you see showing up in society. So to say it doesn't have anything to do, if we celebrate gun violence.
I never said that.
Okay, well, this is what I'm saying.
It does
if
have
we
something to
celebrate
do
gun
with it.
violence, if we celebrate murder, if we listen to whatever music that is, genre of music, hip hop or whatever, we watch movies and kids are watching this and they're getting inundated with this all the time. You don't think that is going, not everybody. I'm not saying everybody who does it's going to do that. Listen to hip hop is going to kill somebody. Obviously not. But you don't think that's going to affect a percentage to see that increase that the
No,
societal.
absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
I said that. I literally said. I'm
That's
like,
why I said both of you are right
I
on
said
this
that.
one.
I think
You're saying the
but
same thing.
But I think
Why are you getting so mad then, Stone?
it's so far from anger.
Why are you getting upset,
I'm
dude?
passionate about this. Is what
Dude.
this. I don't know what barbershop you hung out like. This is what dudes do at fires, right? We turn. You know what I'm saying? We get lit around this motherfucker. You know,
Oh yeah, already crushed that one bottle. Where's
you know what I'm
my
saying?
bottle?
This is some bullshit. You trying to be all
I'm
woosah. We're
drinking
not
straight
woosah
water
over
right
here,
now.
my
Straight
dude.
crush this.
No, I don't. I just think that quite often we always try, and I understand statistics, and everybody knows that I'm like a stats dude. But I think we find reasons to blame, and I think it comes down to how you're raised and the people you're around, right? I'm not blaming a rap song, I'm not blaming a movie, and I'm not blaming what's on TV. I'm blaming the person who allows the kid, because I agree. I totally agree. If you sit there and let somebody who's really impressionable listen to a lot of bullshit, of course, I think, yes, they're going to fall in line with that shit, and they'll kind of follow that path, and then they'll whatever. But I think versus demonizing whatever the art form is, whatever that is, talk about the parents who are allowing the kids to watch this shit then.
Right.
Right? Like, talk about the parents. Again, to me, it always comes back to the grassroots, mom and dad. And then the people the people who mom and dad let around their children.
I think that's where it starts, and then it's like
But every
the
kid
little
should have a
micro
gay
influences
man in their life.
beyond
So-
that can really make the
Yeah,
difference.
one of my closest friends is gay, and so I guess we checked off that quota. Yours too.
Hey, listen,
we're
I
good.
pulled up a comment from one of your videos, Adam, when you were talking about porn, and it's kind of funny. It says they say porn's immoral, yeah, and so is eating Taco Bell at 2 a.m. But I'm still gonna do it 3 times a week and regret it every time.
So why is porn immoral?
But hold on a
Or
second
is it?
now. And why do people like pick and choose when they want to pick and choose what they want to get mad about, right? Like porn is bad, such is bad. We're not talking about pedophilia at this point. We all are in agreement that's some bullshit. Let's leave that alone, right?
Some bullshit.
Like, let's just table that bullshit.
Deal.
But what about how people literally are killing themselves every day with just everyday bullshit and nonsense, right? So should people get mad if you're fucking not doing everything that, I'm going back to a conversation that we had before, if you're not doing everything that it takes in order to keep yourself healthy and around forever, as long as you possibly can? How destructive? I guess my question is,
It's self-destructing
like-
and moral.
yeah, pretty much. Thank you, man. You're
Got you,
so
player.
articulate.
Got you, player.
You're so fucking articulate. That's why you're Adam Horrid. You know what I mean? That's
I'll
why
be
you
here all
have-
week.
That's why you have
Sitting here
300,000
One
followers.
sentence. That's all I need. One take.
I could just see
300,000
Stone was
followers.
struggling. He was trying to take away, Stone, you take away your melatonin, take away your big shoulders, take away that freaking Xerxes king beard.
I mean, hey,
We're
then
the
there's
same
you.
person, bro.
we live with you.
We're the exact same person, bro.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So is self-destructive behavior immoral? This is one of the problems I have with
The
religion. So what you were saying earlier makes me think of like the religious system that I grew up in, which is one of the problems that I have with it is they pick winners and losers, right? This sin is really bad. This one, not bad.
Right.
So it's like you're going to hell if you do this or whatever that is. But like, so if you drink coffee with the religious system I grew up in,
Straight to hell.
you're going to hell. You can't be saved because you're not
Straight to
following
hell.
the commandments. But if you go to Taco Bell at 2:00 in the morning and get like, Baja
Straight to the
Blast,
toilet.
Right,
and
right.
you're freaking 400 pounds overweight, you're like, nah, there's no problem with that. So drinking coffee, you're going to hell. But drinking an energy drink, you're fine. And every religion does this. They have these winners and losers sins that they have. And I think it's one of the biggest disconnects I have with religion is like, either we just have to be honest about everything and really have these types of conversations and recognize everybody's kind of on a different journey, wrestling with different shit they're all going through, and quit throwing stones at each other. Sorry to take your name in vain. Quit throwing rocks at each other.
One strike, my guy.
Sorry, dude. You get 3, right? I can say 2 more.
One strike.
Rocks.
Possibly.
But that's a problem
No
for me.
puns
Like,
either.
so is
that
is looking
very
at
annoying.
porn
That's one of
immoral?
my problems with all
I-
religions too, is that pick and choosy
Chime in?
bullshit.
The winners and the losers. You're
Right.
the loser. You're losing because you don't say Jesus as loud as I do, or Allah, or Buddha, or whatever.
Right.
But you could be living a great life, taking care of your kids, leveling up, kicking ass at life. But you're going to hell because you're not saying the same things I'm saying and following the same rules I'm following.
Exactly.
I hate that shit, dude.
Let me chime in. First of all, I don't care what people do. You do you. If you're watching porn and you like that shit, that's on you. That's cool. I'm not down with it. I don't dig it. From a more secular lens, instead of this religious dogma stuff that people are so entrenched into, which it's a problem. But from the secular lens, it reinforces super unrealistic expectations within marriages and relationships. And then from a psychological lens, it can also hijack your brain's reward system and your dopamine and shit. Like there's studies that prove all that stuff.
Well-
It really jacks that up.
Well, I think it's individualized, first of all, by dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think so many guys can't get what they want to get when they watch this shit, so it's just so unrealistic. But I think that, now to your second point, though, I definitely think that, if you watch, I guess if you're sitting there watching porn, and you're jacking off all day, at a point you're going to become desensitized when it comes to the real thing. You're going to be like,
Yeah.
you're watching this shit all the time,
Right.
and you're getting to see all of this crazy shit.
You can only watch so much game film. Eventually, you got to play the game.
And then when you go to play the game, you're like, hold on, I don't get this.
This shit ain't the same.
I don't get that.
I thought I could jump from the free throw line. Didn't work.
Like this has been an evolution for me over the years, breaking out of the religious system that I came up in, is that I don't look at things as much anymore as being moral or immoral, because on some level, when you say something is immoral, you are casting dispersions on somebody else for their behavior. On some level, you're saying that I would do it differently if I were in your shoes. And you can't make that fucking judgment call. You don't know what it's like to come up with them. You don't know what it's like to be them. You don't know what their upbringing was like. You don't know what their DNA is like. You have no fucking clue. Mm-hmm. But on some level, when you get on your high horse and start casting all these judgments on other people, you're saying, I wouldn't have done it if I were you. That's fundamentally at the root of it. People aren't conscious enough, but that's what you're doing. So I step away from that for me, which has been, it's made a lot more sense for me to step away from, don't do that because God said not to do that. It's saying, is this healthy or is it not healthy? Instead of, is it good or bad? Moral statement. Is this healthy for me or is it unhealthy for me? Is it healthy for society? Is it unhealthy for society? And if you can look at it and say, man, I'm spending copious amounts of my time looking at porn, eroding away connections that I would have, real connections, objectifying women, real connections that I'd have with them, is God going to throw me in hell for that? I don't think so. You're having a human experience. You're wrestling through a very imperfect world of entropy. I don't think I don't think that anymore. I think God loves all of his kids, and he put us in this world where we're all going to do fucked up things and stupid things and get it wrong. And I think that's the playing field. Now, when you start to really wake up and take ownership of your life and start moving, it's when you start making intelligent decisions about things that are healthy or not healthy for you. And I think largely for the vast majority of people, porn is deeply unhealthy. That's what I would say. So I don't want to throw any judgments on people. You're looking at porn, you're a bad person. We all have our shit that we wrestle with, but it's not healthy. It's so much wasted time for one. Guys are just wasting time looking at porn when they could be doing something healthy in their life. And then I think it has a lot of ramifications that go beyond that in terms of relationships with other people, in terms of your own self-confidence. Do you respect yourself when you're sitting there looking at porn? Is there any guy out there who's like sitting alone, like in the dark, like looking at a screen, jacking off, being like, I have a lot of self-respect, you're like, dude, you're a loser. And I don't mean that in a moral judgmental way. Just like, bro, in that moment you are. In that moment, you're doing some low-level, low-energy shit that's not great for you. You could be doing something way more productive.
Right.
Listen, I don't think watching porn is makes anybody free. It's just a dopamine release with a Wi-Fi connection.
I think if you want me to be candid, it just sounds crazy when it's dudes who really ain't been out fucking like that. Where you don't if you've never had a bunch of chicks and you've never done certain things in your life, I'm just like, you don't know what it feels like if you go knock off 3, 4, 5 chicks, however many over the course of a day, a week, a month, whatever the case may be. And then you know what? It's it's still not enough, right? And then you have to go home and it's you want to go masturbate, you want to watch porn or whatever, right? And then you call your girl because you can call your girl and do some freak shit on the phone while watching porn, right? There's so many things that, in my opinion, when I'm things that I've experienced and things that I know others have experienced, and just the life that I've lived and the things that I've seen. And again, it's I'm not saying it to shit on anybody or any of you guys, but I'm dog, y'all ain't really had no bitches like that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't you really have not really been in the trenches really outside with a bunch of chicks, really getting it in, really living a certain type of life. So it's like it's easy to say, where it's like, you know, like when you're kind of on a moral high ground, coming from a place like, well, like it shouldn't be this and you should be married. Yes, I agree with you. Yes, you should be married. Yes, you should be married. You should have your kids. You should do all of these things. Would I be like, yo, go watch a bunch of porn? No, I would not. No, I would not suggest it. Do I think it's like the healthiest thing? No, I do not. Right? I agree with those things. But then on the flip side, I'm like, bro, like, there's so much you just haven't experienced, so you don't know. It's kind of like a dude talking about how much they love their kid, how like what it is to love a kid who doesn't have a kid, what it's like to be a parent, and they try to give you advice on some shit. You literally have to experience it to know. And when we start talking about sexual things and like whether it be porn and chicks, sometimes I'm like, come on, dog, y'all. I don't know. I just don't know if you really can understand and relate, you know, when we talk, I know I'm rambling, I'm sorry. But when I hear like dudes, when not you guys, but talking about Puff, you know, Puffy, like why does Puffy get demonized and Hugh Hefner gets fucking praised? But whatever. Like, and Sam, when you had said, like you have these fetishes. Well, having a bunch of women is a fetish, right? If you love it, like you get to a point where you love that shit, right? Woman after woman, especially when I was young. When I was young, me and my boys was girl after girl after girl. It was a fucking challenge trying to get as many chicks as
Had your
possible.
Tuesday
To be
bitches,
clear,
your
I don't
Wednesday
have a bunch of
bitches,
fetishes. All right,
Friday
Just to be
bitches.
clear. Just
Like,
to be clear.
seriously, like you want to try every day if you can. Try to get a new
Yeah.
chick. Try to conquer
That's
somebody.
one of my roommates in college. He used to. Hey, I got my Jake Buck. Like try to stay in
Right.
your room today. I got my Tuesday bitch coming over.
That part, and
And
then
I got Wednesday bitch coming over tomorrow. So just stay in your room.
and you know what? Like, dude, you do that shit, and then will you still go watch some porn? Absolutely. And then will you go try to watch porn with the girl? Absolutely. But does that lead to anything else? Fuck no. You just keep it at what it is, and that shit is great and it's enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? It's enjoyable every fucking time. Every fucking time. It's amazing, right?
So I got a buddy of mine. I mean, kind of riffing with what you're saying, though. I got a buddy of mine. I think most of you guys probably know who he is. I'm not going to say any names, but he's handicapped, right? Mm-hmm. So do you know what I'm talking
Yep,
about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So he's heart of gold, man. He's been a friend of mine since college. I saw him rolling his wheelchair up on campus, like turning the wheels. I'm missing something.
All you said was handicap. Like I know exactly who you're talking.
Everybody's looking at Sam.
Sam is silly, right? Sam is silly.
Losing it over here in the tent, bro.
Everybody was like, I got a friend that's handicapped. Everybody looked over to the tent.
Sam is silly, dude.
Anyways, dude, I met him on campus because he was trying to wheelchair up. He's going up the hill, and I just started pushing. We started talking, became friends way back in the day. We've been friends ever since. The dude, he's one of the best guys I know, like heart of gold, but he doesn't get any chicks. Mm-hmm. So he goes to a prostitute and prostitutes. He's done it, and I'm like, dude, I get it. I get it, man. Like, you're a man. You got like desires and stuff. Should you have to be celibate because you're handicapped for the rest of your life?
No, that's not fair.
That's right. So like it's hard to like. That's why part of the reason I hate religion is because it comes along and says, here's these clear lines when it gets
Right.
really murky really fast, like where Stone's going with this. Where it's like, well, what is bad for you maybe isn't bad for somebody else.
That's where I'm always going with it, bro.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I just think I just don't think you could sit like, look, when I was a kid, my buddies and I looked at porn all the time. When I was in high school, I was looking at porn all the time. And I can tell you right now, man, that shit was not good for me. So to each their own, but I'll speak for myself, dude. I could tell that not only did I waste so much time in my youth that I could have been doing something better, because me and my buddies we all looked at porn and spent a lot of time doing it. And I was like, dude, I'm so glad that's not an issue for me now.
But I think,
Yeah.
but see, and that's why I'm like, it's just how you grew up, and
Well, that's why I'm not casting moral
no,
judgment.
I know that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and once again, I was speaking in general when people talk about these things. It's like, what? Like, come on, bro. You never had no females, like, and you've never been in the game like that. How the fuck would you know? And then When I used to watch porn, I would learn shit.
That's-
I'd be like, I'm gonna go try some shit.
That's where I was just
I'm
going to take it. I was like, I treated it like
So,
game film.
Exactly.
I'm in there
That's
studying,
exactly what I-
writing shit down. All right, I'm gonna have to try that with the
Oh
tongue.
man, this fireside
That's
is off
with
the
the
rails
tongue.
right now.
I'm like,
Write that down.
Porn was game film.
That's how I used it.
So it
And
was,
I never
was a net
needed it to
value.
get a rock off. If I needed to get one off, it didn't take no porn to do that.
But so you're
Porn
saying,
was just interesting, and I would watch it with girls.
so you and
when I
Absolutely.
discovered that
Absolutely.
girls watch porn, I was like, oh, this is kind of lit.
Absolutely.
Let's watch some
so
porn
you
together.
guys say porn was
Okay,
good
now
for
you do this thing while I do this thing.
Yo, we got a
Just like
comment
on the game film.
I pulled up another comment from one of your reels talking about this, and this guy says, they say porn should be illegal. Sure, let's just outlaw the one thing keeping half the marriages together.
Oh, that's sad and that hits hard. Who said that? That was a comment you pulled up?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's funny.
I'm not
How
gonna
that
oust
guy's
the dude.
Handle. That's
Does a
funny.
guy get a pass to look at porn if his wife won't have sex with him?
Yep.
That was quick.
Yep. Because you know how I feel about all that shit. I'm like, I think that.
You got some personal.
Well, what about if they're in the relationship? They've already decided
No,
that
I
that
think-
ain't something that they want to participate in.
Again, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, we make jokes about me being old, and it's the truth. And I've been around the block. I've seen a lot of shit, you know? And I think that there's so many dudes, the same way I feel like if I was taught a long time ago, whatever you're not doing, somebody else will. You know what I'm saying? So dudes need to think about that shit, right? If you're a dude and your wife likes oral sex and you don't do that shit,
You better get your head in the game.
you better get your fucking head in the game. You better figure that shit the fuck out.
Literally get your head
because
in the-
Literally
ultimately,
get your head in the game. Yeah.
ultimately, depending on how strong that desire is for it, somebody else will. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna fuck up, and that's just what I've always believed. Therefore, I'm like, you know, hey man, what was the original question? I lost my. I'm thinking about porn.
Porn is just
I
a
kinda lost the
participation
original-
trophy
Oh, no,
for
I kind of agree
loneliness.
with you that
No, I
it
would-
shouldn't be this good or bad thing.
It's healthy or unhealthy.
Right.
You didn't even hear me.
And maybe
What'd you
there's
say?
a
I said
situation
porn is
for
just a
somebody-
participation trophy for loneliness.
This dude is literally living on Chat GPT right now. Like he's literally got
That
his
was-
head
that was
buried.
chat. You
Like
could-
he's
you-
got his head.
You know, I've got my head buried in all this audio and switching up these cameras and reading these comments. Sure, I'm on ChatGPT.
I do think it's bullshit when women complain about their men looking for alternative resources for their sexual needs when they're not giving them.
That's where my
Yeah.
point. Yep, that's where I.
I think that is some bullshit. Now, I don't believe in infidelity. If a woman's not going to turn up and she's not going to come to the table to be a participant in a healthy relationship, which means you give to the other person what they need, vice versa, within reasonable bounds, right? You got to have some reason to that and work that out within your relationship. But for a woman to be like,
Do you blame
I'm just not in the mood, I'm for whatever reasons, and then she's pissed off that her husband ends up getting hooked on porn, but she hasn't been like a willing participant, you're like, who started this fire?
So, would you? Would you? You may not condone it. Do you understand though?
Understand what?
Oh, I'm sorry. If you go, if a dude or a woman, if somebody's not giving up sex, and then the other person steps out, of course you don't condone it. It's wrong.
I
But would you-
understand it.
but you understand
Oh, I
it?
totally understand the psychology. Like, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
I don't believe in that for myself personally.
but you get it.
But I totally understand it. That's what I'm saying. I think it's bullshit, man. I think if you're going to be in a relationship, then you got to put the work into that relationship, which means you're going to do things that you don't want to do, but because that's what's best for your relationship.
Watching pornography isn't universally considered cheating, but it can be a source of conflict and feelings of betrayal within a relationship. I guess it depends on your relationship, though. Like, I think all this stuff is super subjective. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of why I
Communication is key. You guys
Exactly.
got to work
That's why I
that
don't
shit
judge.
out.
So I don't judge anybody, and I don't give a shit
Right.
what anybody does. I don't care. I don't think about it. If you ask me, I'll give my opinion, but it's generally really dry, like really generic, because what you do is what you do, and I don't know what goes on in people's homes, and I don't know the dynamic of your relationship. There's like so many other things that go on behind closed doors versus what people allow you to see, right, and what they tell you. So I'm like, man, you know what, dude? Whatever
Yeah.
you do, you
I got
do.
some weirdo friends. They got multiple girls, three-way relationships, dudes and chicks and weird shit. And yeah, you don't know. And
some
what's
people-
good for them is probably not good for you, or vice versa, or whatever.
Here's what I'll close out with.
It
on
shouldn't
this.
be the good and bad, though. I really like what you said
Yeah,
there.
I
Like,
agree
it's
with
like that's the total religious dogma that comes in where it's like, this is a good
and
sin.
it's
this is a
always
bad sin.
hypocritical
I
at the
hate
end of the
that
day,
shit.
because you're doing bullshit you shouldn't be doing, and you know you shouldn't be doing it, and you're throwing stones at somebody else for the
That's the second time.
I got one more before. Here's
It's like-
the one thing that I would say. Like, when we talk about this, I think without bringing religion in, but bringing spirituality into this fire. Okay? Here's my take on it. Spirituality really comes down to 3 relationships. So when people talk about spirituality and it's this undefined term, I'm a spiritualist or whatever. Like, what does that mean? To me, it means 3 things: your relationship with yourself, your relationship with others, and your relationship with the divine. Whatever that is that you define as divine. That's what spirituality looks like. So that relationship with yourself comes first, that authenticity of being honest with yourself. And what I mean by that is that if what you are thinking is not aligning with what you're saying and doing, you are going to be unhealthy spiritually. You lose your authenticity. So if you claim or you believe or you feel like pornography is not good for you, it's unhealthy, and you do that, it's going to erode away your character because your internal authenticity is not matching what you're actually doing. And I think this is when I start getting into what is healthy or unhealthy. This is kind of what I'm talking about. It's like, are you doing what you believe? Whatever that is, whatever your belief structure is, are you living according to that or are you not? And if you're not, then you need to reevaluate things. Either you need to reevaluate your beliefs, are they wrong? Or you need to reevaluate your actions and start acting differently. But that's how you're going to align yourself in a healthy way with a foundation where then you can have healthy relationships with other people, which are authentic. And then you can have a healthy relationship with what you think the ideal version of yourself, the divine is. What is God to you? What is sacred to you? And then you pursue that. And I think that's where you align spiritually. And so to me, this is a spiritual discussion. It's not a moral discussion. It's a spiritual discussion. It's like, what is good for your spirit? And I think you need to be honest about that and then act
Have the
accordingly.
actions follow. Yeah.
Bingo.
Well said.
And guys, if you are liking this content, please hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps us to keep the content coming and to build up this show in a way we're not exactly sure all the different angles it has, but we need your guys' support to be part of it here at The Fire. So please like, subscribe, and feel free to comment.